Hello everybody, welcome to a few tips and tricks about Stellaris and a little bit of a let's play. I'm just going to kind of do a run through with it and see how far I can get. Welcome to my channel. This is ItsJustAnAddiction and I love playing video games. So I wanted to show a few tips about starting off on Stellaris, kind of starting on the right foot. Now I do not have the Utopia DLC, and very soon there's a new DLC coming out on the 21st. Synthetic Dawn, I believe is the name of it. But I wanted to show a few tips about starting off the game because I've watched a lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers and a few other just online, whatever I can find online when I'm watching people, and they tend to make a lot of everyone's got their own way, right? So I wanted to show a few tips about how I start. So I'm going to create a new game, and I just kind of made a generic species here. I threw some things out there to try out, and I wanted to show them to you before we begin. So I'm going to go to edit and show you a few things. So I chose some plantoid thing. I don't know, look cool. Species name. I generated something, and it came up with something that looked like World Eater. So I was like, oh, World Eater, there you go. Sure, why not? These guys are going to try to consume other species around them, and why not? Eat them for dinner and breakfast and lunch and dessert. Awesome. There's the name list that will be generated. Here are the traits. I chose rapid breeders because I want them to be able to expand as quickly as possible. Okay, so this gives the growth speed by 15%, and I want to try to do what I can to give me enough of a head start at the beginning of the game where early game if I can get a big enough head start, I'll have a same lead for mid game and hopefully win end game. So there's a few key points. Rapid growth, right? Choose our rapid breeders with a growth speed plus 15%. Intelligent for all of the sciencey stuff happening. I'm going to choose another perk to this later on as well. And wasteful. I chose wasteful because even though I know a lot of people out there are probably going to say, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. That's going to eat up some of your minerals, but I'm going to find perks. There's another perk that kind of help offset this a little bit, and I'll show you how that is. Okay, so next is the ruler. Okay, chose whatever. Here you go. Generated whatever was there. Good to go. Name and class. Some name came up that looked like that, so I was Spore. I kind of enjoyed that game when it first came out. It got old pretty quick. So how about Spore Primer? Nice. And of course the star is the life giver. City appearance. What did I choose here? Anthropoid. I don't know why it says anthropoid. I thought it would be anthropod. Musculoid, fungoid, anthropoid, I don't know. It just sounds funny. For the government and ethics, I chose Fanatic Militarist because the biggest perk here is the fire rate. And the reason why I wanted this is early and mid and late game. This is a huge perk, although the army damage isn't all that relevant because ultimately when you're landing troops on planets, you can just land them on, do a bunch of damage, take them off, let them heal, land them, and keep bombarding the planet where it's not going to help you that much. But fire rate is going to help you a huge amount in the all of the space battles. Now there's a few other ways to work on different avenues. It's just what I chose, and a Materialist because again a research speed perk, but the biggest perk here that I was also looking at is robot maintenance cost minus 10%. I plan on using robots to mine minerals to help offset the loss that I was getting under the traits, right? Wasteful. So the consumer goods cost a bunch of extra minerals. They basically just eat up things as far as the cost of goods in general and minerals, and so there's always a percentage loss there. But if I can get bonuses to mining and maintenance for those robots that are mining them, then hey, that's helpful. Also, I chose dictatorial because the reason for this is the different types of authority choices have elections every so many years. And I'm not going to have too many perks to be able to get a ton of incoming influence, which I may want to spend on influencing other cultures. So instead of every few years, 10 years, or every 40 to 50 years, I want to basically dictate who is going to be the authoritative figure and what perks they'll have to influence my race, and have that until their death, and then try to find something similar. Now, if I use Imperial, then there will already be a designated successor, and I may, I won't be able to influence that. So this is a really good spot for me, I think, for this particular build. For the civics, I chose Distinguished Admiralty because, again, we have a huge bump in our fire rate, which is going to help out with our other 20%. It's going to be a big boost. So 28% bonus to all of our fire rate. Early game, mid game, late game is going to be amazing. And the efficient bureaucracy. Early in the game, it'll be difficult to have more sectors. So I chose this to be able to have, I think you start off with 3, not sectors, but core systems, and this bumps that up to 5. So hopefully we can get a faster growth than some of the other races and empires that we're going to encounter. There's the name. They will be the hungry consumers. Sure, why not? Here's the flag. I just kind of put some stuff together. There you go, right there. Looks great. They will consume everything around them. Sure. Now, projectile weapons tend to be a really good middle of the road, as opposed to the energy weapons that focus more on hull damage, and they don't get, they're more difficult to penetrate. You get a penalty to try to penetrate ships with shields. Projectile weapons, you're getting kinetic, energy against armor and shield, so there's like a middle of the road. And then the missile weapons recently, which used to be, of course nobody would choose missile weapons because you fire a bunch of missiles at a ship, a couple of them hit it, and that ship is defeated, and then all the other missiles that were on their way to that ship across space just kind of vanish, right? And it's a huge waste of your attacks per ship, essentially. So if you came across another species that had missiles coming up, then you could, just defeat it with anti-missile technology, and they were really easy to beat. But with this new update, all those missiles, once their target is destroyed, they divert to a new target, which is kind of interesting. I haven't played with this yet, so I just thought that was kind of cool. I'm going to try it out, something a little more of a challenge for me this time. Also, warp travel is very, very easy, and it gives a big bonus to, it's not a bonus, I guess I should say, it makes things easier for all the other races to go wherever they want to go. Hyperspace, of course, limits that a little bit, and you can make funnel points and beef up defenses on major avenues of approach into your sectors. But I'd like to try Wormhole. I've used it a few times. I'm not that experienced with it, but I really like the beginning of Wormhole that it has when the game begins, that it limits your amount of space travel, and I'm also going to limit Wormhole travel to all the other races as well. Chose the anthropoid ships just to match the anthropoid colonies as well. So there we go. Save. Yeah, there we go. We're going to try this out, and I wanted to show some of the very beginning tips that what you do at the beginning of the game. And we'll go with small here, elliptical. I'll just take all the default settings and just go from here. I'm going to limit everybody to the wormhole travel. Empire placement is random, etc. Okay, end game, of course, we're going to have some of the crisis on. Again, I don't have Utopia installed. I haven't even paid for it, but there you go. The consumers, here we go. We have tropical preference. In the eons since the first primitive world eater communities took shape in the dense jungles to spore prima, our civilization has spread and prospered. Technological progress has been swift, but as our numbers grew, the civilian population became increasingly restless. With our world on the brink of anarchy, the military stepped in to restore the rule of law. A new order was established to safeguard our nation from all threats, both external and internal. Now, after the successful creation of artificial substance wormholes, the finest minds of the consumers have finished construction of the first wormhole station on the edge of our system. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. So, step 1, take your planet off the rally point. You see these rally points? Here's your planets, here's your military fleet, here's your civilian ships, rally points. Now, if I create a ship from this planet, spacecraft, Corvette, it may not necessarily add to the fleet. When I was doing this before, when I first started playing, sometimes it would go and sometimes it wouldn't. I don't know, it was weird. So I'm going to choose this planet. I'm going to take this button right here, rally point. You see that right here? I'm going to take that off. Boom! Ta-da! See, it's off this rally point down here. The second thing is create your second or third science ship. I'm just going to create a second one for now. We want to get this science ship up and running as soon as possible. Also on the planet, over here on the surface, there's always a double stack of minerals. Here's one right here. So for this double stack of minerals, we're going to need some additional resources. You see up here we have 4 incoming power, 8 incoming minerals, which has already 8 units, or was that 4.8 is deducted from that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Boom. So what we want to do is build a mining network and maximize the output of that block right there, because we're going to receive another guy here soon. But we can hold off on that just for a few more minutes. We'll be able to get one on there very, very shortly, because we have bonuses to our food consumption. Okay, so let's go to some of our tech, our research. Now I see this all the time. People never look at these little icons here. So this researcher, this guy, see how we have everybody, all these scientists? This scientist, Bud Garland, has a bonus, research speed plus 10%. So anything that he researches, he's going to gain a 17% bonus to, which is 10% for his Spark of Genius skill, 5% since I chose Materialist, and he already gains a bonus of 2% for having 1 star of experience, right? Everybody that gains experience eventually gets bonuses. So you can see here, he's gaining a plus 7.13 points per progress per month. So he's get up a plus 10%. This guy has a plus 10% specifically for expertise new worlds. And what I see all the time happen, this guy's 5% down here at the bottom, when people choose one of these skills, but they don't really pay attention to these icons. This is a huge perk. Now, I don't really need naval capacity right now. I have quite a bit of growth speed, but between these two, my priorities are growing and then feeding that growth, and then influence, because I'm going to need lots of influence points. So let's do our growth speed first, and if you notice, it's biology over here. So I don't really have a bonus to this right now, but this is very critical. So what I want to do is take a look at what else is available. Okay, this guy has an industry and particles. Hey, there's a new reactor and solar panel. Ooh, and an energy grid. Wow, all 3 of these are fantastic. You always need more power. So I'm going to start off with the solar panel. I'm going to go for this. I don't necessarily need a fusion reactor yet, but I will need it very, very, very soon. So I'm going to start off with the solar panel. And then down here, Daisy Oak for my engineering. Ooh, new missiles. Awesome. Mining Network 2. Ooh. Ouch. Ouch. Okay, so because of the price, I don't get any bonuses to these specifically. So I'm going to go for the Mining Network and get more minerals, so I'll be able to upgrade those ships. Now, in this case, I want to gain this. What's my priority here? More minerals, growing, probably growing, okay? So the first step, you see how I have 2 influence coming in. Let's go over here to policies and edicts, and let's go right into society research. Click that. 0.9 per month is the cost. Now I'm down to 1.1 gain per month, and that is going to give a big bonus to my society research, which is 37% bonus, plus 7%, plus 2%. Now I can swap this guy out for like Bud Garland here for another 10% on top of this 37. Huge. So if I want to hurry this guy up, which I'm going to do right now, yes. Now, see, 47%. Boom! Look at that. Awesome. And this guy is now empty, so I'm just going to give it whoever's here. Done. Okay, so now our percentages are minus 3%, but that's okay. We're still, I know I'm going to get power because I've already got 4 extra, and I know I'm going to gain some more out here, so it's at least priority of these here. And there we go. Now the game is still paused. Nothing's even happened yet. Okay, choose my science ship, choose the closest planet, survey system, and we are ready to begin our first round. That's our intro. That's my introduction to some of the tips and tricks to start the game off really early. And I'm going to play this out. I'll show you what I do and what some of the decisions I make. We'll go from there. Tell me your thoughts. I'd like to hear them. Thank you.